Welcome back to the channel, soap fans. Next week, the tears are going to flow. But amidst the heartbreak, we have to ask the ultimate question. Will Abe propose to Paulina right after Lexie's memorial? Let's get into it. Let's be real for a second, because the emotional whiplash in Salem right now is absolutely out of control. Next week, we are heading into one of the most heartbreaking events of the year. The memorial service for Lexie Carver is going to be held at the Brady Pub, and I am already stocking up on tissues. Can you believe the sheer psychological torture the writers have put Abe and Theo through? I mean, seriously, think about the history here. Abe already mourned Lexie years ago when she tragically passed away from a brain tumor. He did the work. He grieved. He slowly, painfully rebuilt his life. And then, in a twist that only Stefano Di Mero's wicked legacy could provide, EJ and Doctor Rolf bring her back with that twisted resurrection serum. It was a miracle until it wasn't. The serum failed, and now Abe and Theo are forced to bury the love of their lives all over again. That is crazy. The level of trauma that Abe is carrying right now is unimaginable, and watching him and Theo gather with their loved ones at the pub to share beautiful memories of Lexie is going to completely wreck us. But here is the kicker, you guys. The absolute core of this storyline isn't just about grief. It is about the incredibly complicated, messy, and deeply awkward dynamic between Abe and Paulina Price. We have to talk about Paulina for a minute, because I am going to passionately defend this woman. A lot of fans give Paulina a hard time for being loud or overbearing, but I actually think she is the unsung hero of this entire tragic saga. When Lexie miraculously returned to the land of the living, what did Paulina do? Did she fight tooth and nail to keep her husband? Did she act selfishly? No, she literally stepped aside. She ended her marriage to Abe so that he could experience this impossible miracle with his resurrected wife. That takes a level of selfless, unconditional love that is incredibly rare in the soap opera world. She sacrificed her own happiness because she loved Abe enough to let him go. And now the miracle is over. Lexie is gone, and Abe is completely shattered. Naturally, Paulina is going to be the one standing by his side, trying to comfort him and hold him together. But you won't believe how awkward this is going to be. How do you just bounce back from that? Abe is drowning in grief, but I guarantee you, he is also drowning in guilt. He knows what Paulina sacrificed for him. He knows she spent weeks crying alone in her apartment while he was playing happy family with Lexie. The tension between them at this memorial is going to be thick enough to cut with a knife. They love each other, but the sudden, abrupt end of their marriage has left this massive, gaping void between them. They don't know how to act around each other anymore. Do they hold hands? Do they hug as friends? It is a psychological minefield, and I am so here for the complex acting we are going to get from James Reynolds and Jackie Harry. So how do they fix this? How do Abe and Paulina bridge this massive emotional gap? Well, the answer comes in a very tiny, very adorable package. Chanel and Johnny's newborn baby girl. Amazing. We all know that Chanel just went through the absolute labor from hell. She was dealing with a terrifying breast cancer diagnosis, refusing chemo to protect her baby, and then she suffered severe bleeding during delivery. Kayla literally had to kick Paulina and Lonnie out of the hospital room to save Chanel's life. But thank goodness they survived, and now this precious little Di Mero Price baby is here. In the soap world, there is absolutely nothing like a newborn baby to heal a fractured family. I firmly believe that this little girl is going to be the glue that brings Abe and Paulina back together. Abe is going to look at Paulina holding her new granddaughter and he is going to remember exactly why he fell in love with her in the first place. The contrast of new life amidst the heavy shadow of Lexie's death is perfectly poetic. Which brings us to the massive question that is burning up the comment sections everywhere. Will Abe propose to Paulina again this week? Will there be a grand, sweeping dream wedding in the works? Okay, let's debate this. A lot of fans think that proposing right after a funeral is way too fast and honestly kind of tacky. And normally, I would completely agree with that. In the real world, you need time to process grief. But this is days of our lives. Time moves differently in Salem. I actually think Abe proposing right now makes complete sense based on the show's internal logic. Think about it. Abe just learned the hardest lesson of all. Life is incredibly fragile, and miracles do not last forever. He lost Lexie, got her back, and lost her again in the blink of an eye. That kind of trauma changes a man. I think Abe is going to realize that he cannot waste another single second of his life being separated from the woman he loves. I am predicting a highly emotional, deeply vulnerable proposal. I don't think it will be a flashy public spectacle in the town square. I think it is going to happen in a quiet, intimate moment. Maybe they are alone at Paulina's apartment looking at photos of Chanel's baby, and Abe just breaks down. He will look at Paulina, acknowledge the incredible sacrifice she made, and beg her to be his wife again. He needs to lock this down. Paulina deserves the world after what she has been through. She deserves to hear Abe say that she is not his second choice, but his present and his future. If the writers don't give Paulina the romantic validation she deserves, I am going to be furious. And if we are talking about a dream wedding, oh my gosh, it needs to be epic. Salem has been so bogged down lately with the Coruscant drug crisis, the DiMera corporate backstabbing, and all of Kristen's psychotic kidnappings. We desperately need some joy. We need a massive, beautiful, joyful Salem wedding to offset all the darkness. Imagine a stunning ceremony in the Horton Town Square, surrounded by all their family and friends. Chanel and Johnny standing up there with their new baby. Lonnie and Eli returning with the twins. Theo standing by his father's side, giving his absolute blessing because he knows Lexie would want Abe to be happy. It would be the ultimate full circle moment. When you look back at the history of the show, the greatest couples always have to survive the ultimate test. Look at John and Marlena, or Bo and Hope. They faced death, brainwashing, and resurrections, and they always found their way back to each other. Abe and Lexie were an epic love story of the past, but Abe and Paulina are the modern anchor of this show. Their love is mature, it is resilient, and it is built on a foundation of mutual respect and sacrifice. I am so incredibly invested in seeing them get their happily ever after restored. They have earned every single bit of happiness that is coming their way, and I will not accept anything less than a spectacular reunion for these two legacy characters. So, what do you guys think? Do you agree with me that Abe should put a ring on it immediately, or do you think he needs to take a step back and mourn Lexie for a few more months? Let me know your theories, because I know the fandom is completely split on this. One thing is for sure. The acting in these upcoming episodes is going to be Emmy-worthy, and we are not going to want to miss a single second of the fallout. Grab your tissues, hold your loved ones tight, and let's get ready for an unforgettable week in Salem.